This is Advent of Code 2020, day 4. The problem for today is called passport processing. I guess it wouldn't be Advent without borders. And yeah, today we are doing some passport control. We want to see if these passports are valid. So these passports can have all of these different values on here. And so they'll show up in a file like this. Some of them will be on new lines. The sort of key value pairs is what we're going to be looking for. And basically we want to make sure that all of these are present, and then the CID, I guess, is optional. Saying that somewhere. So we need to read in a bunch of these passports out of the passport file and determine how many of them are valid. So before we get started with the puzzle input, I think we might just play around with this right here. And I'm thinking it would be nice to do some pre-processing of this file to make the Ruby implementation a little simpler. So I'm going to create a directory for today, 04, jump in there, and I'm going to create a little sample file with our sample text. And now what I'd like to do is sort of turn this into a file where all of these individual passports are on their own line like that. And then I can imagine separating them all with some sort of, identifier like a comma. And then pretty soon we have a list that's looking something like this. If it was all in one line like this, individual entries are separated by a comma, that would make things a lot easier to work with and process in Ruby. So let's back that up and see what we can do. So for the pre-processing, I was thinking it would be nice to use something like sed. And so we've got a Stack Overflow answer here that sort of explains how to use sed to replace a specific pattern throughout a file. Kind of a weird incantation here, and this is for GNU sed, so let's see. This one's OSX. So we'll try and grab something like this, sort of a series of -e commands, and then there's this pattern after these options are set, and then it runs against the given file. So we'll copy that and actually cat the file, have our command then, and I kind of want to start by replacing the double new lines with commas. So that'll kind of eliminate that spacing in between individual passport entries. Let's see how that looks. Are we getting our commas? Yeah, there's a comma. There's a comma. So that's fine. That's doing what we need it to. And then I think we can pass like another search and replace or substitution entry with the -e flag. So after the first one runs and turns the file into something that looks like this, we can do another substitution that turns remaining new lines into spaces, I guess. So that'll sort of join everything up into one line. Yeah, that looks good. So we could then output that into clean sample dot Ruby, and then we'll just say input, turn that into a string, and now that's something we can import into our solution. So we'll do a require relative with what do we call that? Clean sample. And so now we have access to input. And so at this point, we just need to do some parsing of this data to figure out what of these values are present in each sample. So I'm going to pull these in and comment them out just so we can have an eye on them. Actually, we might turn that into just like some sort of array of values. So I don't know, required identifiers, and then we don't actually care about the CID because that's not actually required. So we've got that. And now take the input and we're going to split it on commas. So that's going to be passports is the resulting array. And so then for each one of those, and actually I'm going to jump over to sample and grab a sample of this just so we have something to look at. So we're going to want to kind of turn this into some sort of object to see, or hash, and see if the things that we care about are present. So to do that, we can pass, I keep wanting to type passwords, passports. We can map over those. And I do this again, method parse passport, something like that. So then I need a method for parsing a passport, which takes a passport string, and it'll just return some sort of object with those values. I'm kind of thinking it could be fun to create like an open struct or a class that has like a validation method on it, but it might be a little heavy-handed for the solution we're going for here. Yeah, let's just start by getting this thing parsed apart. Basically want to take the passport string and we want to split it on spaces. So those will be our parts. And then for our parts, we want to map over that. And for each part, we want to say, I want to like pull out the key and the value. So I'm going to say part.split on the colon. And then maybe we need a do block here. We can do a couple lines here. So I don't know, I think that was, yeah, this is fine. So this is going to give us an array of arrays, right? Where the nested array is going to be, a tuple with the key and the value. And then from there, I think I can like just turn that into a hash. So if I have ABC 1, 2, 3, what, okay, that sort of thing, I can split on those and then map over that to say part dot split, and that gives us our doubly nested array. And then from there I can say probably 2H maybe. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just 2H. Okay, and then filter method validate, validate values, credentials, something like that. Passport hash is what we're expecting here. And so, yeah, we'll just be dealing with our required identifiers. So, yeah, I think we can say passport hash dot keys dot. Can we do like an array, like set comparison type stuff with the arrays? Like if we have A, B, C, and we say minus to get the difference. If we have A and C, oh, maybe we want to go the other way around. If we were to go, so if this is our required list, if A and C is our required list, and then we subtract what we have. If it's empty, then we have all the things that we require. Okay, I think that can work. So we'll say required identifiers minus passport keys empty. I think that's active support. Is that Ruby or is that active support? I think it is active support, so we'll say size 0. Okay. Is it complaining about required unless useless assignment? Doesn't like that. Not sure what Rubocop is trying to tell us here. Let's make sure I'm even assigning that right. I think this is going to be a string of strings. Yeah. I don't know what it means by useless assignment. That seems fine to me. Okay, filter valid passports, and we're gonna spit out the size of that, and that will be the result we care about. Part 1. Validate credentials. Did you mean required identifiers? So why isn't it like that? There's some sort of scope issue? No, that should be fine. Maybe there's a scope issue. What if we just make it a constant? vim. There we go. Do vim. The little vim key binding to uppercase all of that. Okay, cool. So 2 of those were valid, and is that what they said about this input? Are the above rules? Yeah, 2 are valid. Okay. So I think we're onto something here. Let's grab this. Ooh, that's a big old file. So we're going to copy that. We're going to jump back over here. We're going to hop out and just have to do this sort of thing again, except we're not working with sample, say input.txt. Let's put all that in there. And we'll turn input.txt into clean input.txt. I'll just make this Ruby compatible real quick. That's one massive string. We'll save that, and then we just got to update what we're requiring in part 1. And I think we've got a solution here. 118. So let's plug that in and see if 118 was the value we were looking for. Not quite. Your answer is too low. Huh. Well, what did we do wrong then? I'm curious now if I ran this correctly. Yeah, I mean, replace double new lines with a comma, and then replace the single new lines with a space. I mean, height 162 to PID FD33, is that? Oh. I think something got mangled in this input. EYR 2030. EYR 2025. Uh-oh. 25. Did we miss the beginning of the input? Wow. Let's try and copy that all again. I don't know what happened there. Wow, we just mangled our input file, and that's why we were missing what we were looking for. That is frustrating. Let's run par 1 again. Expect we get a value that's higher than 118. 219, that's higher. There it is. Gold star. All right. Well, maybe we'll look at part 2 in another video. Otherwise, thanks for watching.